Hey there, this is Matt once again. I'm joined with my good friend OCP. Hope you're doing well tonight, my friend.
Doing okay, doing
And
fine.
real quick, like Bobby, hope you're doing well. Nice guy. And we're just talking and chatting. And
Yeah.
uh, I tell people come in, I'll bring up some news
Mm-hmm.
looking up Faces of Death remake.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, the Faces of Death
It's
remake.
amazing.
Just running out of ideas. When you're getting to the point where you're remaking Faces of Death, you really you've really lost it. You've really lost all sense of creativity. Because that movie itself was barely even a movie. Like that film had stock footage, you know, uh actual real life death footage, I guess you could call it that. But then also like fake stuff, fake death, footage. So is the entire movie just going to be fake death footage? Is it
No,
going to
I
be an
saw here's the
anthology?
plot of it. The new plot revolves around a female moderator of a YouTube-like website whose job
Oh,
is to weed
of
out
course.
offensive and violent content and recovering from a serious trauma. Stumbles across a group that is recreating the murders from the original film, but in the story prime for the digital age and online misinformation, are the murders real
So
or fake?
a meta version of Faces of Death. Weird.
I
Okay.
guess.
That's another trend that I'm getting tired of. Like everything being meta. It's like, for fuck's sake. Like just it's not even that clever anymore. If you're just gonna constantly be making it so everything is meta.
Let's see. We got a few questions already. DJ's asking, "What's your favorite time travel time period in a movie?"
Ooh,
I don't know.
future. I really like, when they
Yeah,
travel to the future, like in Back to the Future Part 2, and, just seeing the creativity and other writers' ideas of what the future would look like. Um,
I agree.
that's my favorite, instance of time travel when it comes to a setting. Um,
Because it
I
shows what creativity you could maybe bring into the future,
yes.
because it could be anything. But the
Yes.
past, you have to be limited, obviously,
Exactly.
because of.
That's where you get boring movies like Time Rider, which I still haven't seen to this day, 'cause each time I try to watch it, I fall asleep.
Uh, oh, real quick, like, thank you, Bobby. What if John Wick 5 ignores John Wick 4 and said this is the real part 4? I like. I'll speak for myself. I don't care. I'm
Mhm.
kind of done at this point. If it's going to be this comic book Marvel style ridiculous jumping out of four-story windows and
Yeah.
brushing it off,
Saying it's
and the fifth,
Marvel
it'll
I
be
is a good
cyborgs.
point, because I
Cyborgs will
kind
come in
of
and it'll shoot people with laser
could
pistols.
have Winter Soldier. John Wick is the new Winter Soldier. But seriously, I did get Marvel MCU film vibes from the stuff in Japan. Like, that looked like something I might have seen in, like, Black Widow or some shit. Like, it really did kind of remind me a little bit of that. In terms of the
Mm.
choreography, in terms of, the stuff with Akira. And I saw somebody comment something about, Akira has a bow and arrow, and they were wondering whether or not John Wick was ever gonna use a bow and arrow, but he never did. And I'm like, that is kind of a missed opportunity. That could have been another thing that John Wick could have used in a potential action sequence that could have been a little bit more different or somewhat unique compared to the retreads that they were going for or going with throughout the rest of the film for the most part.
Instead, he falls down a bunch of stairs like a
Yep.
goddamn barrel from Donkey Kong.
Mhm. Yep.
Uh, I mean, oh, well, real quick, like that. I try to do these quick posts because YouTube makes these disappear. I don't know why they do that. But thank you, Psycho Hobo. No action film. It depends. I mean, if it's a crime thriller like Heat, Michael
Yeah.
Mann's Heat, it's a long movie,
And
very
John
well
Wick 3
done.
is almost John Wick 3, if you look at the running time, like that was close to 3 hours, but I thought that was a much better paced film. And in all honesty, I think John Wick 3 kicks the ever living shit out of John Wick 4. Even as
I
somebody
agree.
who, liked John Wick 4 okay for what it is,
Yeah,
I love Parabellum. I think it's the action epic that so many people are saying John Wick 4 is.
I forgot to bring this up, but yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that so many times where he kept
Mhm.
doing this.
Yeah, because of the
I know that's
Kevlar in
part of
his
his thing,
suit.
but this was so overdone.
Yeah,
It was like Batman's tape.
yeah,
You know,
and it
it
wasn't
got
just him, it
overdone.
was
Like
everybody. It was all the fucking the marquee bad guys. They were doing the same shit.
"Duh, duh, 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 duh,"
Yeah,
like all the scenes be like "Duh, duh, duh,
yeah,
duh, duh, duh,
yeah, and
duh,
it wasn't just
duh,
John
duh,
Wick.
duh,
See, that's the
duh,
other
duh, duh."
thing. It was everybody. It was all the Marquis bad guys. It was all the and that's another thing that made it seem less special, made a lot of the action scenes not have as much weight to them for me, is because of the fact, these bullets seem like they don't have any effect. They're like paintballs or airsoft, pellets or some shit because of the, just constantly using the Kevlar shields and whatever that are in the clothes. But I mean, it's not just John Wick who's surviving all of this insane, crazy shit. Like even Scott Atkins' character in the fat suit, like when he falls down, I thought he was dead at that point. I thought he was done. That was it. He fell off the balcony. A guy his weight, his size, because of all that added weight when you hit the ground, that would just completely just destroy your internal organs, and that would be it.
Well, you had to wait till the next time where he broke his neck, and
Yeah,
then he could punch 18 times
yeah,
poo, 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 poo,
yeah,
to get his teeth out. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
yeah. The Baba
I'll be the
Yaga.
one that killed John Wick.
The Baba Yaga. Oh.
He shot me in the ass.
You shot me in the ass, John Wick.
A dog piss on a dead guy's
hmm
face. My God.
Yeah, yeah. I audibly groaned in the theater when I saw that. I was like, oh come on, that's just too much.
Real quick, like I would say the second film is the most underrated because
Yeah.
people crap on it.
Well, people are crapping on the third film more now too, and I don't understand that.
I think the second film with the whole mirror
Yes, I love
finale
that.
is
That is one of
beautiful.
the best set pieces and settings in the entire franchise. And that's another thing. I'm like, John Wick 4 is the most boring finale when it comes to like a setting. Like for
The Exorcist stairs.
the Exorcist stairs that are like the never-ending staircase. And I get what people are trying to say. It's like Dante's Inferno. It's like the stairs, up to hell or whatever. It's like I don't really
I
care.
like I said, I thought it was going to be a stair, like it would go in a circle,
Mhm.
like go much higher. So
Yeah,
you're going around corners,
that would be
and then
cool.
it'd be like
Remember
you're
that
seeing
movie, The
him going up
International? That movie, The International, with Clive Owen, like, it had some similar stuff
a
like
little
that with
bit.
the, windy steps and buildings and stuff like that. He
You read Mike's
does.
mind.
He flat out does sound like John Leguizamo in Spawn. Like, I expected him to go, "Ooh, that was a wet one. Ah."
I don't know. Really, nobody came back.
I heard Halle
Halle
Berry,
Berry
they
didn't.
asked her, but she refused, she declined.
Hmm. Maybe she read the script. Oh, thank you, movie reviewing next door. I disagree. I think Goldfinger's the best Sean Connery one, and I'm not a
Yeah,
fan
I
of
really like
Thunderball. I thought it was
Goldfinger.
rather boring.
Thunderball, yeah,
I think Goldfinger's easily, in my
to be
opinion, the best
honest,
Sean Connery
I
one.
like Never Say Never Again, the unofficial remake of Thunderball, more than Thunderball.
I like this comment. How you doing, man? Creating nothing more. A lot of people love
Ooh.
it. Teach their own. Oh well.
But then you got people like it's interesting reading the reviews for the new Super Mario Brothers movie. You know, seeing like the just crazy amount of conflicted reviews from critics and some of the stuff that they're saying, like it's too faithful to the source material. It's got too much Easter eggs. It's too much like the video game. So it's alienating other people who aren't fans of the game. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, isn't that the exact same shit that they were saying that the 1993 film sucked because it wasn't more like the game? So now we have all these critics that are like, it's bad because it's too much like the game.
Yeah, 93 film is nothing like the game. The new film is too much like the game. Again, I haven't seen it, so I can't comment.
I haven't
But,
seen it
but
yet either, but
how would I rank? Alien 3 is the worst.
yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean,
And
Alien
then
3, I hate what it does to the Alien franchise with a passion. But there are elements of that film when it comes to like the score, some of the production design, the art direction. There are elements of that movie that are so much better than anything in Disney Star Wars or Terminator Dark Fate or CW or DC shows. So, eh,
this will be my ranking, and
mhm,
Mike will do his own. Because believe it, we actually have different opinions because we're friends and we can actually
mm,
coexist in that fashion. So mine would be because Aliens is one of my favorite films of all time. I despise Alien 3 for that reason. So that's for me number one. And then I would go with Terminator Dark Fate or Disney Star Wars. Disney Star Wars number two because Han Solo Luke Skywalker got absolutely obliterated and was
mhm,
uncalled for and not needed. And the characters were not made interesting enough by the poor writing.
mhm,
Then to Dark Fate, then John Wick 4, and then CWDC, I don't really care about them. I
mhm.
mean, but Smallville, I guess
Yeah.
I didn't mind the pilot. Uh, so that's the last inoffensive
So
to me.
yeah, so I'm pretty sure he wants us to rank like from worst to best, I guess,
Yeah.
or best to worst. I mean, I can do best to worst and switch it up a little bit. I would say
Okay.
out of all of these, you know, I would say John Wick 4, even though like I do have issues with it. Then I would probably um I'd probably do hmm, I haven't seen a lot of the CWD sheet D sheet. Well, for some people it is the D sheet. You know, with the fucking Batwoman show and all that nonsense. Um, CWDC shows, I've seen some bits of like The Flash and stuff like that. That was okay. So it's relatively kind of inoffensive to me. So that would probably be, you know, the next good or decent thing on there. Um, then I actually haven't seen Dark Fate yet. I've seen Genesis and I hated that. So I would probably put Disney Star Wars and then like, you know, Genesis. And then I would probably, out of all of these, now that I think about it, I probably would put Alien 3 on there because it pisses me off so much because of the fact that they had a considerably better script that William Gibson wrote that they turned down
Mhm.
because it was too much like Aliens or they didn't want to spend the money or any of this other bullshit. And they killed Newt when they didn't have to because Alan Dean Foster, who was a novelization writer for the novel versions of like the first two films. And I think he also wrote the novel for Alien 3. He even was saying that, hey, you know, I got an idea that, you know, where you can keep Newt alive. And Walter
Mhm.
Hill or David Giler or whoever it was like, no. Said something about,
Mhm.
oh, you know, we got to continue to raise the stakes or something, or we got to shock the audience or whatever. That's fucking nonsense. And so they could have kept Newt alive, but they were like, nope, not gonna do it, which is bullshit. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Derek. Killing New was lazy writing, as well as a lot of other adjectives.
Killing Hicks, Killing Hicks was lazy writing too. After everything that he
No,
went through at the end of Aliens, he's just gonna die off screen.
I think this is a new guy. He's a nice guy. No, I would say no.
Absolutely fucking not. I wouldn't even buy that movie for $1. I continually call it Robocock because it sucks that much cock.
Robo
Um,
Bukaki.
yeah, I hate that movie with a passion. Awful. I even did a ranting commentary on it. It's hasn't gotten any better. I saw it in the theater when it came out in IMAX because I had like a free ticket and did like an upgrade, and it was one of the most miserable experiences in the theater I've ever had. I just was just hating every minute of it. I saw a post somebody shared on Facebook where they're like, "Oh, Jose Padilla and Joel Kinnaman, they fought for an R rating, but the studio was like, no." And the studio had somebody watching Padilla to make sure that he made it PG-13.
But let's be honest. Even if it was rated R, it still would have not been a good movie.
Oh yeah, for sure. The script sucked.
Yeah. And real quickly, someone was mentioning Mike has not seen the Child's Play remake. I have. I did
Actually, I
like it.
did. I actually did
Oh, you
see
did?
that.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw
Oh,
that
okay.
because I watched Megan. That's another thing that, hey, Matt and I disagree on. Matt's not a fan of that one. I saw the rated cut. I didn't mind it. I actually kind of liked it. Um,
Whew.
and so I was curious about the Child's Play remake, so I watched that and I liked it too. I would say honestly, I kind of thought they were about the same. They had kind of the same strengths and weaknesses, although some of them were stronger than others. Like in terms of like the Child's Play remake, I think the lead kid was a lot better than the girl in Megan. I definitely
I
sympathize
agree.
with the kid more in Child's Play, and I thought the kid was a better actor.
Yeah.
Um, I liked Mark Hamill's take on Chucky. I thought it was refreshing, was different. He made it his own, and a lot of things about that film that I definitely did like. Um,
Yeah, I enjoyed the. I enjoyed Chucky actually wanted to be his friend, and
yes,
they did the whole like almost single white female,
hmm,
and the fact of he's protecting him to the point of I can't like if something hurts the kid, he'll go after it. I thought that was a
yeah,
refreshing change of pace.
yeah, yeah. It was a nice
I agree.
switch on things. Thank you,
Good job on those reviews.
thank you.
And movie reviewer next door was saying his favorite is For Your Eyes Only. That's a good one. I like
It
for
is.
Roger Moore.
It is. And you know what's interesting is I mentioned this in the one of the Dalton Bond reviews. I think it was The Living Daylights. That Cubby Broccoli, like he wanted Dalton even back then. Like he wanted Dalton for Your Eyes Only, but Dalton just couldn't commit. He didn't. His schedule didn't
Hmm.
work. Like well, Dalton is so ahead of his time and just so suave, so cool, such a badass, made such a great impact in only 2 films. But it's bittersweet because he was really starting to, like, get really good with the role in License to Kill in terms of, like, balancing the humor with the harder edge and making it a little bit more seamless, and I just think he would have just continued to kill it if he had more chances, but it's fucking legal nonsense with a company that bought MGM and then just shit just got delayed for way too long and Timothy wasn't necessarily like the youngest man at the time anyway when he did those 2 films. So now it's like 93 or 95, 94 and he's like I don't want to be doing Bond films for the rest of my life. So, see ya. They wanted him to sign a contract for like 5 films and he was like, "No."
Yeah, it's quite a bit to look ahead to because even if
Yeah,
each one's 2 years, that's 10 years of your life.
exactly. Um But yeah, the 3rd film would have
So
been cool to
yeah,
have seen. It was supposed to come out in '91. I think it was gonna be called Property of a Lady, It was going to be China. It was gonna take place in China. There's be like stealth fighters, and
Property of a Lady? That's
yeah, I
pretty
know
lame
it
title.
is a lame title, but I guess they were trying to use whatever last bits of Ian Fleming when it comes to like a title they could use. But
Property of a Lady sounds like a really bad sequel to The Money Pit or something.
to
Like,
me, it just sounds like a bad direct to video softcore porn thriller, by Academy Entertainment or some shit.
yeah, starring like Sheena Easton or someone like Tracy Lords.
Tracy Lords.
Uh, no, I would not. If not three villains, that's too
Please,
many.
no, that's too many.
That's
Even
default.
Clayface by himself is going to be difficult because of like the fantasy sort of sci-fi elements of the character. So it just
But
depends. I would have preferred Mr. Freeze or Hugo Strange myself, but it is what it
well, I've
is.
said I don't look forward to any movies anymore, so we'll see what happens. Hey, Salty, hope you're doing well.
Yeah, because at
Uh,
one point you look forward to John Wick Chapter 4, and then look what you got.
Nope, I don't look forward to any more movies.
Speaking of John Wick Chapter 4, there on Rotten Tomatoes trailers, they have a video saying why John Wick 4 deserves an Oscar. I'm like, no, nothing about that is Oscar worthy. Not even the editing, not even the stunts or the fight choreography, in my opinion, not even the cinematography. I mean, I get it. There are people who really like this film, and I think that's great. That's wonderful. That's awesome. I don't even hate the movie, to
Mhm.
be perfectly honest.
Yeah,
But
you like
I
it more
just
than
see
me. I
so much praise and hype for it that just boggles me. That whole like demolition man. What's your boggle? Like, yeah, my boggle is why John Wick 4 is just considered to be like this masterpiece, this absolute masterwork of the action genre, and hands down the best film in the entire John Wick franchise. And it has the best action scenes. And I'm like, how are any of the action scenes in this, even the Dragon's Fire breath, whatever shotgun scene, how are any of those considerably better than any of the stuff, the major action sequences in John Wick 3, or even John Wick 2, or even the first John Wick? And I see all these people, it's so great, it's so amazing, and it's the best. And I'm like, why? Like, I'm genuinely curious. Like, why is it? Because I don't see anybody backing it up. They just say that it's the best ever.
I mean, it's their opinion. I just
Yeah,
disagree. I mean,
I disagree too, but I would
you
just
know
like
what?
people to like actually back up their opinions more often instead of just being like, this is the best. You're just crazy for thinking that it's not. And I'm like, what do
I,
you have to base this opinion on?
I wanted to piggyback on this because not lazy physically, but they give him nothing more added to the
Yeah.
character, and it's a part four,
Mhm.
and it's 3 hours long. Give him something.
He doesn't even have like a
I mean,
memorable one-liner or
he's walk.
anything. There's nothing like
He's
that.
an avatar.
There's nothing like, oh, yeah, I think I'm back.
A-
You don't have anything
As,
like that.
as much as people give credit to Rambo 3, they gave him a sense of humor, but it worked within the movie.
Yes.
Fuck him. Or,
Yeah, I love that scene.
uh, well, surrounding them's out. It's a bad time for Joe's John. It's a blue light. Well, what does it do? Turns blue.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
even any of that.
Mm-mm.
I say name one line, and Keanu Reeves says one line
No,
in
most of the
John Wick
time he's
4.
just, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike's going to review John Wick 4 sometime. And yeah, I love the first two Creeds exactly. Chase is a good guy, yeah. Creed. Not seeing Creed 3 anytime soon. Uh, I'm no tourist. Yeah, there you go. Rambo 3. I'm no tourist.
Or it's like, who does this man think he is? I'm your worst nightmare.
Uh, I mean, I didn't say it; he did, but hey, I appreciate the idea where you're coming from.
And,
I think the
and
title's
here's the other
funny,
thing
but
about John Wick 4. It's like they all this praise about Akira and
money,
the
money.
the other guy from Bullet Train and Mortal Kombat, and I'm like, why? Why are these characters strong? Like people talk about how great this film is and how great it's an example of building a new universe within the John Wick franchise, and I'm like, half these characters weren't even built up in any of the other movies. This would be like if you had the first phase of the MCU and you had like Iron Man, the first Avenger, Hulk, and like in the fourth film, Thor, they just threw in black some of these other characters like from the Marvel universe and just started like throwing them in and just with barely any backstory or anything, and we're just like, all right, here you go.
See, I disagree with that, and the fact that number one, you look at John Rambo himself, you look at the way Stallone's built, and he got so
Mhm.
physically built for it. It's probably the best shape of his career.
Yes.
And you look at what he's actually doing physically. He's not falling off four-story windows, falling on a car, and he brushes it off. He gets a piece of shrapnel, and people say that's impossible. Look at 50 Cent. The 50 Cent got shot like 10 times, and
Hmm.
he got back up. And so, like, one piece of shrapnel, and you go into the gory detail of slowly getting it out, and you know that stuff, and his pain and
Yeah.
the suffering,
Yeah.
and him struggling when he's climbing up that wall, and you see it's a lot of it done also in camera for real. Unlike this, which granted, yes, were in the previous films as well of John Wick, it's a lot of CGI. This
Hmm.
felt even more CGI. Maybe that's just me. There was CGI in the film. This
Well,
for
I
me.
saw it in the theater, so I know that there was some CGI, but there were a lot of stuff that I could absolutely tell was done practically. And if it was CGI, I would be really surprised. Like some of the stuff with the cars and the Frogger and whatever, some of that was CG, but a good chunk of that like legitimately looked like they actually did choreograph. They did set things up where the cars would just barely miss people and stuff like that. And
But it makes it look ridiculous if people bouncing
mhm,
off like ping pong
yeah,
balls.
yeah.
And I didn't feel that way with Rambo 3.
Mhm.
Real quick, like, thank you, Salty. I appreciate that. Um,
Yeah,
media
I have the
books.
Running Man. I have the Running Man media book, and I have Trick or Treat. I also
Um,
have The Hitcher. I have that too.
here you go. Here's
That's
a
that's the Steel book.
Running Man. Oh,
Hold
Steelbook.
hold on, let me
I guess I don't have the media book.
hold
I
on.
got confused.
I'll go get the Running Man.
Media book. Maybe I don't have a media book. I guess I don't collect them much. I don't really pay attention to that kind of stuff. Uh, I might have the Hitcher one if that's one from Germany. It's over there. I think I have one for the Mangler that was overseas. But yeah, I guess that is a steel book. But yeah, I guess Mike will show what a media book is. But yeah, I don't collect them as much as other people. I just if it's a movie I want, it's a movie I want, whether it's media book or not. I guess I'm not that picky on whether a media book is or
Well, yeah,
not because
I'm not
I don't
super picky
collect as much
either,
as I used to.
but I
Okay,
had to
go
get
ahead.
this because this is got the cover art I
Actually,
really
one
like.
second. Just wait 1 second, Mike. There we
So
go.
yeah, this is a
That's
Running Man media book from
and the
Germany.
inside.
Yeah,
It's like a book.
it's got a
Because someone was
uh
asking what a media
concept.
book is.
Yeah,
This
it's
is what
got
it.
concept art and like a little bit of like a lot of it's like storyboards and stuff like that. And I think there's like a little bit of writing, but it's like in a different language. So
Yeah.
And that's what the I
Obviously
think it's the
overseas.
same transfer that
That's why it's not in English.
yeah, I think it's the same transfer that's on the American release. And then I also have this one. This is the Trick or Treat media book.
So is that the one where the audio's bad or no?
Yeah, the audio is not the best, but I did hear from someone that Trick or Treat might be getting a Blu-ray or a 4K
Yeah, the
sometime
guys at
this year.
Deadpit mentioned that too.
Yeah.
That they heard that maybe Michael Felsher might be working on features for the Trick or Treat.
Maybe it's Vestron.
Maybe can't remember. The last thing they did was maybe the dentist or something.
Because
Can't
I
remember.
don't know if Trick or Treat was released for Vestron video or not. I know I think Rocktober Blood was.
Does it Running Man? Does that have features or
No.
no? No.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, it does.
I don't remember exactly what all them are off the top of my head. Has this bonus disc. I think it ports over a lot of the same stuff from some of the other releases and stuff like that. Speaking of media books, I did pre-order the Bloodsport one because there's a 4K of Bloodsport,
I
and it's
heard of
supposed to
that.
come out sometime this month, I think. And it's got an interview with Van Damme on it, and a new transfer and everything. So I'm looking forward to that.
Cool. And I know that so much in NSM. Yeah, I didn't even know. Like, apparently, there's a lot of stuff overseas, like that stuff. Faces of Death got a new release. Hellraiser 4 4K, and
Yeah,
you could get like a Ghoulies 3's on Blu-ray overseas, which I didn't know.
I know
Maybe I'll hit
Death
that up sometime.
Machine for the longest time until the upcoming announcement from Kino Lorber that was only available overseas. Fortress with Christopher Lambert that got
Okay.
a Blu-ray in Germany with the uncut version, and it's one that I keep kicking myself that I never actually got around to buying the German release when it was kind of affordable to import from like eBay or something, because I can't find it anywhere now. Like, and if I do, it's like crazy expensive. And Fortress is another one. Like, where the hell is that release? Like, all it's had is just like a really basic, bare bones release years ago by was it Mill Creek? I don't think it was Mill Creek. I think it was might have been Lionsgate. It was somebody like that, and it was bare bones. There was no features, and I'm like, that's got enough people in it in terms of the cast, and it's sci-fi, and there's a little bit of there's some gore. Like that's enough of a genre film that I would think that would actually
Hmm.
get some decent sales if somebody decided to release that.
Well, supposedly, Total Meltdown Death Machine is supposed to be getting a release from forget who now.
Kino Lorber.
Okay, so it'll never come out like that Leviathan 4K that was supposed to come out.
It might still come out. Never know.
Be nice if they update it. Coming soon doesn't mean 2 years
Yeah,
later. And it's still coming
they
soon.
updated some things. There was something they mentioned that they were going to be doing a release of Bug, the William Friedkin movie, but then they ran into a snag, so then they updated people and said that it's not coming out. So I guess if it's for sure not going to be coming out, then they will, make an announcement or something. But
Thank you, man. Glad you liked it. Someone was asking, oh yeah, the Creepshow 3 Blu-ray.
yeah, I was gonna mention that anyway. Yeah, Creepshow 3, the film, it's so bad it kills me. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, is this a joke? Because I was like, isn't it like April Fools? Like, haha, funny. Scream Factory made it funny, haha. But no, it was real. Then I was like, oh great, there are gonna be people who have no idea about this movie. They've never seen it. They just know that it's called Creepshow, and it's limited to like 1,500 copies, and they're gonna pay Scream Factory $30 for this piece of fucking shit.
Oh, they're in for a wonderful awakening with Creepshow 3, where one of the stories is about a haunted hot dog.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
a bum chokes on it, and he haunts a guy offering a hot dog. Ghost
uh-huh.
offering a hot dog. So enjoy your haunted hot dogs in 4K or
See,
whatever the hell.
hey, just talk about Creepshow 3, and my cat's like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
I don't blame him. He's got the right idea. One of the worst anthologies,
Yes, it's right
easily.
up. It's up there. It's up there with shit like VHS, which I still think is one of the worst as well.
Maybe.
For sure, for sure.
Yes, I hope you're doing well, Jonathan. Yes, Tales from the Dark Side is the real Creepshow
Yeah,
3.
Tom
Much,
Savini
much
said it
better
the
movie.
best. He said it's the unofficial Creepshow 3, and it really is, because John Harrison directed the film and he did the score for Creepshow. There's a lot of other people that are involved with it. There's a Stephen King story that was initially going to be in Creepshow 2. Um, and it comes full circle because Tales from the Dark Side was supposed to be Creepshow the series, but they couldn't get the rights. So it was then changed to Tales from the Dark Side.
Hey there, Sloan and Belinda. Hope you're all doing well. Well, actually, it was, or was it? It passed by. Well, Darren, if you watch House 4,
Yeah, House
and you have
4.
a haunted pizza in
Yeah.
that, that awful movie.
I'd rather watch House 4 over Creepshow 3. Speaking of bad
Ah,
movies,
you
the
remember my
Blu-ray of
song, huh?
Creepshow 3, Creepshow 3, you're so bad you're killing me. Yeah.
Fuck.
Speaking of bad
Creepshow
movies getting a
3.
Blu-ray, Curse of the Blue Lights for Vinegar Syndrome.
Is that the one someone who made the film got mad at you when you
Yeah,
reviewed
yeah,
it
yeah,
a
yeah,
long
yeah,
time
yeah.
ago?
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah, yeah.
Were they the director or an
I
actor?
think it was like a writer or a director, somebody who worked on the movie. Yeah, they were all butthurt about it. Yeah, like no, I still
Yeah.
stand by what I said. That movie fucking sucks. I don't care if it was a low budget production that you did, with your buddies, your pals somewhere in the South or the Midwest. Who gives a fucking shit? A shitty movie is a shitty movie.
You remember back the day, it seemed like me and you just kept making people involved.
I know.
Like, for you, it was one of the Amityville sequels,
Yeah,
was it?
Amityville Curse. There was an actor who was in the Amityville Curse, and he was like a grown ass man. And this was before, I think I was still in my 20s or some shit when he was like fucking with me. And he's like, this guy's like in his 50s or some shit. And I'm like, and he's like being a troll. And I'm like, what the fuck is your problem, dude? And I wish I saved all of the stuff, because
That'd
like
be hilarious,
I had like screenshots and everything, but I lost them. But yeah, the guy was just being a fucking troll, just doing,
Yeah, it was
lame insults and
Amityville
shit at
Curse,
me.
and then someone involved with Curse of the Blue Lights. With me, it was supposedly the director of Scorpio One and
It was David
work Peter.
Stein. That was the guy's name. And I was dunking
Okay.
on his acting. And if you look at his filmography, you look at his IMDb, the guy hasn't been in jack shit. Like, this was like his biggest role. All of the other stuff was like little
Mhm.
small bit roles, might as well be a cameo role. After Amityville Curse, he did one other movie and then never did anything again. So, you know, maybe it wasn't that far off. And there was another one, another actor got pissed at me. It was an actress actually for that from that movie Blood Games that
Mm.
also got a Vinegar Syndrome release, and she's interviewed on it. And I thought that film sucked too. And I commented on this actress's acting, Laura
Oh,
Albert, and she left a
you know what that
comment,
remind?
and she called me, names and shit like that too.
You know what that reminds me of? There was a time when I don't know if you remember this. There's a guy who's going to direct a 9/11
Yeah, the
movie
nine
with
eleven
zombies.
zombie movie. Yeah. Yeah.
And I heard the news and I did a video going, this is the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
Hmm.
9/11 takes place, but then the victims become zombies. This is like the dumbest idea. And the guy said that he was going to go after you, John Zero Cool, anybody that talked about anything. And then that guy disappeared. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess I wasn't the only one that thought it was a dumb idea. It's a movie never got made.
Yeah. Speaking of drama, I might as well spill the beans on here on the stream because, a lot of the same people don't even bother,
Thank you, Jonathan.
following Matt. I was a part of this collectors group on Facebook for quite a long time, like at least a few years. It was called like the Cult Film Horror collectors group, or like cult film exploitation, horror collectors group or whatever.
Okay.
And what happened is the entire group got sold to this fucking just absolute hose bag. This guy who
How does a
doxes
Facebook group
people.
get sold?
It's one of those things where the group is owned by somebody who like is like the main admin or whatever, and so this guy wound up like paying the guy who was technically, I guess, the owner of the group like 5 grand. That was the rumor, that he paid him five
Why? Why don't you
grand.
just make a Why don't you just make a
I
new
know,
Facebook group and
I
invite
know,
people in
I know,
instead of paying five thousand
I know.
dollars?
Because there's like
Why don't you just
thirty-one
make a new
thousand. There's
Facebook
like
group?
31,000 people in the group. It's already like a cult group that has like a following and so on.
You could literally
Um,
make a Facebook group, make a post, and say if you want to join, come on on.
I know.
That'd be a lot
I know.
cheaper than $5,000.
I know. I don't
Yeah,
even
go
know if the
ahead.
rumor is accurate or not, but if it's,
Well, go ahead.
if the guy did pay, like I'm laughing even harder because I'm like, good. The guy wasted his fucking money because the guy's a piece of shit. This is a guy who like doxes people. He'll like just go after people and troll them and harass them if they say things that he's not really a fan of. And this guy's so
Mm,
crazy that he has two separate accounts on Facebook. One that he uses to sell his bootlegs, and another that he just uses to harass people. And he's not even subtle about it. His profile is a guy with a fucking ski mask on. Like he has a ski mask
mm,
on, and he's got this tough looking
mm,
face on. He's making like this,
mhm,
"Ooh, I'm scary, I'm tough" face with this fucking ski mask. And so
mm,
this guy, this is what I'm thinking happened. The group got sold to this guy, one of the long-term admins. He was like, "This is fucking bullshit. I hate this guy. This guy's a bootlegger. This guy's just a butt licker. Fuck him." And so he changes like the name of the group and is trying to do all this sort of stuff to try to, fuck with this guy and maybe get him to leave. And that doesn't work. So then he decides to fucking nuke his own group by having his friends and himself just start flagging posts. But that doesn't work. So then he just like the last resort and he just starts posting like VHS cock porn on the fucking group just to get it shut down by Facebook.
mm,
So this fucking guy can't, be the admin or own it anymore. And so the drama
mm,
continues because after the group got nuked, this guy, the bootlegger, he creates his own version of this group with the same name and the same banner, and he's the admin now. And
mhm.
now he's just trying to act like, oh, I did nothing wrong, and da 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 da. And I'm like, this is just insane. Like, what is it up with these fucking Facebook groups and fucking dicks? I mean, Jesus Christ.
Literally.
Literally dicks, folks. I mean, I dealt with this VHS group in the past, or these guys would literally post their dick and balls on top of VHS tapes
Why?
because it's a fucking click. That's what it is.
For who?
These fucking grown men who like to put their dick and balls on VHS.
So people click on pictures that have someone's testicles on the VHS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like one guy tried
I'm
to
very old.
harass me. He trolled
I'm
me
very old.
with photos of himself eating pancakes that are shaped like cocks.
Off his dick?
Yeah, they were shaped like cocks, and I was like, and he was like, and it was like supposed to be like a troll to me, and I'm like, you literally trolled your fucking self. You're eating cock. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, it's an OnlyFans club, I guess. I am very, very old, I guess.
These people were old. They were around like your age. They're doing this shit.
Don't put me in that list.
No. Oh, I definitely no, definitely
Yeah,
not.
I know. I'm done. Oh my god.
What?
I don't. No, I just everything you just described. I went a VHS tape, and they put their testicles on it,
Uh-huh.
and that's a positive. I don't understand the thinking. I don't understand the
They think it's cool.
progression of that.
I don't understand why they think it's cool
What's cool
either.
about it?
I know.
Do they floss her ass with videotape
I don't know.
and put their penis
Matt,
in the VCR to press rewind to
Matt, these are the
rewind their
same
penis back into their
this
bodies?
is like the same people that like obsess over shitty films like 3 on a Meat Hook and have their whole profile on Facebook and their whole identity is like owning the most copies of this shitty movie on VHS. I'm like, who gives a fuck? Most there's only like 5 people that probably give a shit that you have like 50 copies of 3 on a Meat Hook.
No, Premier. Mike's talking about a Facebook group that was apparently enjoyed loving their penises on VHS tapes and would send. So people pretty much send you dick pics
Yeah.
because they were cool.
Yeah.
I don't know what to
Yeah, that's
say
the same
about it,
group
man.
that I wasn't really I didn't really have a lot of experience with like groups on Facebook, so I succumbed to peer pressure and shit like that. And I even made like a video like ranting on some of these fucking people, but then they decided to like turn it into some kind of personal thing, and so I deleted the video. And this is the same group for like years would have members from it, I guess, continually try to make memes about me and other shit, and then also like talk about how, if you post this infamous video, you post this rant video, you come back to the group, we'll pay you money or whatever. And I'm like, fuck that shit. It was like years, like
You
4
should
or
have
5
created.
years where these
You
fucking
should create
guys
like
were
you should create like 10 accounts, and then kept getting paid each time. You would have made a shitload of money.
yeah, yeah, for sure. But I was just
But
amazed. I was just stunned by just how childish these grown ass men with families and kids were doing
I
this
don't
shit.
know. They must be really, 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 really bored.
Yeah, or drunk, or high, or both.
They're high on something. They're high on cleaning fluid from VCRs.
Oh man, I look back
So
at it and I laugh my ass off. It is one of the most bizarre and just hilarious things I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah, I wonder if there's an HD DVD club. Just fucking splooges on HD DVDs. Oh my god. Apparently, that's what Mike said. Three on a meat hook. Just grilled up to them. But
They all want to be the big man on campus. I'm only
no,
mentioning that because that's getting a Blu-ray finally. The Big Man on Campus movie, the Hunchback in college film from like the late '80s.
I don't. I think they'll love the paper cuts. It'll probably be part of their kink as well. I think they love the
Yeah,
paper cuts from the VHS tapes.
yeah.
Tape sexual. That's a that's a trauma movie. Tape sexual.
Blu-rays to blow-rays. He's gone from suck to blow.
This is laser dicks.
Yeah.
I got a whole collection of laser dicks.
That'll just be the laser dick collectors club. You know, where they just put the whole thing is they just put their dicks on laser discs.
Instead of beta males, I got this collection of beta males. This whole collection of beta males is all across the thing. No problem, Rapper Kirby. Take care, man. Thanks for stopping by. Tape sexual. that needs to be a new term. Was it a different writer? I'm not surprised. I'm not, like, interesting. I don't know how Discord works, so I don't know how to do all that. I
Matt,
don't know.
you're not gonna get the John Wick Chapter 4 Walmart gift set with the Continental like
No.
coasters and the 4K and the map of Paris and all the fucking postcards.
No. Yeah.
High tickets.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Midnight Meat Train. I've seen it. It was not for me. Uh, it's cool if it's for other people. I did. I think a review of it still up on the channel.
That's
Matt
one where
Frost, I
the
believe.
tone is just the tone and the style just really hurts the movie. Like it's just too out there, like too over the top.
Oh, thank you, Bobby. This is a nice compliment. Program was made possible by contributing to your taste station from viewers like you, the Expendables YouTubers. Yeah, we are the Expendables, but the first
Yeah.
one, the good one.
Yeah, the good one. Not the over. You know what? I thought of this. Like the same reaction that a lot of people are giving to John Wick
Real quick,
4.
like, someone's asking, would you create a Discord server one
I
day
don't know
whenever you do
how.
stuff?
Like I mean, I
Yeah,
can
see,
maybe
I don't
look
know how it
into
works.
seeing how to do it. I have a Discord, but I don't have like a server or anything.
Yeah, I don't know how it
Um,
works.
but yeah, the reaction to Expendables 2, you know, when that came out. It seems pretty similar to what
Okay.
I'm seeing with John Wick 4. Oh, it's so much better than the first Expendables. Oh, it's one of the best action movies in years. Oh, it's so good. It's so great. It's so epic.
Were people saying that?
Yeah, there were a lot of people saying that about Expendables 2. Like it's the best
I don't
one.
remember.
And we were like, I don't know about that. And it was the same sort of thing. Like I liked it okay, but you didn't like it. So it seems kind of like a
Oh,
similar sort of thing. Oh, Chad Stileski, he wrote John Wick 4.
well, that makes a lot more sense now. This was his vision.
Yep, it's his
It's just
vision.
not the vision. Hey, Casey, and hey,
Chad might
Sean.
as well be the old reverend in Poltergeist 2. You're gonna die in there. You're all gonna die. You're gonna die, John.
I haven't seen the trailer. I know Mike has. I haven't
I didn't
seen it
mind
yet.
it. I didn't mind the trailer at all. Like it looked like it could be interesting. I like Ben Affleck, and it's nice to see Robbie Rodriguez kind of go outside his comfort zone with a thriller like this. It doesn't look like amazing or something that's gonna like reinvent the genre, but at this point, you see where Matt is, where like he doesn't have any necessarily faith, or he doesn't look forward to movies
No,
anymore. I don't
no.
look at films and base whether or not they're going to be good based upon whether or not it's a completely original concept. That's just not possible nowadays. It stopped being possible decades ago. There's been way too many films that have been made to really have some kind of 100% original unique concept. So, yeah, does it kind of give me Inception vibes? Yeah, but does that mean that that it's going to suck? No.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the trailer. Like I said, I don't really watch a lot of trailers anymore because I just, like I
I'm more
said,
looking
don't look
forward to
forward to
Renfield.
movies.
Like that's the one that I'm looking forward to the most this month is Renfield. Because I saw the Red
Yeah,
Band, the next Red Band trailer for it before John Wick 4, and it was like practical gore in it. And I like Nick Cage as Dracula, and I don't mind Nicholas Holt.
yeah. Disney wants the X-Files to become like the MCU. Don't get me wrong, I love the MCU. I just hate the classic movie franchise and shows want to be like it. I
Yeah,
don't
I'm not
like
a
the
fan of that trend
MCU.
either.
I used to like a couple of their movies. I still like a couple of their older movies, yes, but the past at least 5 years, not been a fan of their stuff. I'm not a fan of their m- not model, but yeah, the model work
Hmm.
of how they make films nowadays, where the directors aren't really doing their visions. It's this corporate entity where
Yeah,
they're really directing the film.
yeah,
I mean, there's
that.
been people that have said literally, well, the directors aren't really directed; they're pretty much told what to do, and it's
Hmm.
this corporate entity being guiding them, do this, do that, put more
That's why
humor.
Edgar Wright left Ant-Man. That's why Scott Derrickson was essentially pushed out of Doctor Strange 2. I know he said different things to the press, but he doesn't want to burn the Marvel bridge or the Disney bridge, and I can't blame him, especially for somebody in the industry because of how powerful Disney is. So I can't blame him for just trying to be like, "Oh, we just didn't, I just decided to do something else," that kind of thing. But I'm pretty
Mhm,
sure it was closer to that, where he's like, I wanna make it a little more darker, a little more edgy, I wanna be make it a little bit more like a horror film, because I'm a big fan of horror, and I really think that'd be cool to do Doctor Strange and have it be like PG-13, like a as close to kind of an R as we can get in terms of like the darker themes and the horror elements, but also still having fun and still having, some quips and, tongue in cheek stuff. And then Marvel's like, "No."
I'll tell you a quote for that I found. This is someone who is like heard behind the scenes. I was dealing with an extremely well-known director who had worked on a Marvel film, and then she was relaying some remarks that someone said about another filmmaker who directed one of the biggest movies Marvel's ever put out.
Mhm.
And the guy was talking and said, "They don't direct the movies. The directors, we Marvel direct the movies. The filmmakers don't have creative control over the look of the films that Marvel does." And it's not helping. I
No.
mean, Disney Plus, they're losing millions of
Yes.
subscribers. They lost like 1.5 billion, and then they recently just cut over 7,000
Yeah.
jobs
Yep.
because
It
they're
doesn't
screwing up.
help that even they're even screwing up their nostalgic properties. Like, oh, Hocus Pocus 2. Oh, there's Hocus Pocus fans. They really love the first movie, and they are just absolutely enamored with that film, and they've been wanting another one for so long. Let's do a sequel, and then it's just a really tired retread of the first movie. It's not as funny and lacks any edge or any bite. And we don't even bring back any of the original cast other than the witches. Like you had opportunities to bring back Allison Shaw or Omri Katz, and Omri Katz is even willing to come out of retirement to do it. You know what kind of commitment that is? Like he was willing to come out of retirement to be
But here's the
in
thing,
another
Mike.
Hocus Pocus film.
If they did, it could have easily been another Bill and Ted Face the
Oh,
Music.
absolutely. But I'm just saying they didn't even go there. Like they failed to even make the attempt. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So they have nostalgic properties and they're even dropping the ball on them. So it's not just Marvel, it's not just Star Wars. I'm hearing shit about the Mandalorian, Matt, that I definitely don't think you're going to be a fan of. And I know you like the first 2 seasons.
I told you I don't look forward to anything anymore, so nothing surprises me. So what is it?
There's just a lot of stuff where I heard that in the second season they separated Mando from Baby Yoda. He's got to
Yeah, I've
train,
seen the second
so on.
season. I like
Well,
it.
in the third season, they're back together, like super quick. Apparently,
Well,
like
yeah,
all of
because
that
it
was not
sells.
really. It was really kind of
To sell the
a whole
merchandise.
bunch of nothing. Um, and I've heard that the tone is not the best, and the writing isn't really the greatest. There's a whole episode that's just kind of there, so Jack Black and Lizzo can make cameos.
Jack Black, okay. And real quick, like Clark, you mentioned X Files. X Files died a long time ago with the revival reboot.
Yeah,
Not, I mean, revival. It
I
died
mean,
then.
some X Files fans could even say it died even earlier, like some of the later seasons in the original run.
Yeah, season 9.
Yeah.
They say season 9, but I mean, like the revival really put it in the grave.
Hmm.
Because I just watched that recently. Aside from one episode, which I recommend, season 11. It's called Followers. It's I don't know if you've heard of this episode. It's
No.
worth the watch as a
Hmm.
standalone. Real quick, like Modern Scully at a diner. It's a self-automated sushi diner.
Okay.
So it's like robots. They get an order wrong. They don't tip, and there's like lack of dialogue. It's almost like a
Okay.
silent movie,
Yeah.
and the whole episode is the two of them being hunted down by robots and
Oh.
drones and all
Huh.
sorts of AI intelligence chasing after them
Hmm.
because they want their tip. And it's like it's interesting
Okay.
and it's quirky. And it's like Mulder has these drones following
Yeah.
him. Scully's trapped in an automated car, and like she gets sent this gift, and
Yeah.
it's automated and
Sounds kind
very
of
unique.
definitely sounds unique, and and with the automated restaurant thing, kind of sounds ahead of its time because there's already a lot of stuff coming out about automated
Yeah, they're
stores,
doing it now.
automated restaurants. Like there's a McDonald's in Texas that is fully automated. And there's even people talking about by 2026, like almost half the workforce is going to be automated. And I'm like, "Oh my god, really?"
Yeah, that's smart. Welcome to Skynet.
And there's people saying, "Oh, hey, you better learn a new skill." And I'm like, there's a lot of people that even if they did learn those new skills, they ain't getting that job.
Here's a skill. You put your penis on a robot, you take a picture, and you tell people it's a VHS tape, and then they'll pay you money for their fetish Facebook
Yeah,
site.
the tape sexuals.
Or someone mentioned DVD sexuals. That'll be next.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Bobby. I don't want to miss this. What happened to directors that know what they're doing? Like, say they see it. I think he meant to say a dumb scene,
But it might as
and
well be a
it could
dump.
be a
See?
dumb scene as well. Ed goes, cut that out. Uh, different time, different. A lot of films are getting a lot longer. They
Hmm.
don't know. A lot of people don't know about tightening a movie and
It's not just
editing
that, it's
wise.
also with, like, set pieces, like action scenes or, stuff involving visual effects in particular. I miss the days in, like, the '70s, '80s, and parts of the '90s where these filmmakers, they had to work inside of a more limited box. So they had
A
to be
parameter.
more conscientious and aware of what their limitations are. And then at the same time, they were able to put like the utmost focus into doing like let's just say like 5 or 10 different effect sequences and just making them the best possible effects shots that they can instead of like
Mhm.
hundreds, possibly even thousands. And the whole idea of, oh, we can't necessarily do that because it's not practical, made it so
Mm.
they created and came up with other ways to showcase these things or work around them. So it led to things just being so much more special and unique and more consistent in terms of the quality, or better, because you had like 5 or 10 shots or 5 effect sequences of practical effects that are mind-blowing compared to like 50 CGI scenes that are just all the same.
Yeah, go watch some of those later Transformer films where an action scene feels like it goes on literally for 30 minutes and it just gets repetitious and over overblown. And
Mhm.
that's honestly how some of the John Wick 4 stuff went for me, where it was just going on and on and
I
on. And
can
I'm
kind of
like,
see, I like the fire
I,
shotgun scene more than you did, but I do
yes,
kind of
I
get
did.
what you mean in terms of it being a little too long. Like I thought that they were going to switch it up. I thought they were going to have the top down, view for a little bit and then switch it up, but they never did. So
Right.
then
No.
even the top down view became a little less special because it just was over, I guess not overdone is
And
the
what the
right
fuck
word.
is that gun, by the way?
I don't know. The fire was
A
CGI
fire
anyway most of the time, so it's not like it was,
solar gun from Harry
practical.
Potter or something. It's like if what the fuck gun? Does anyone know what the hell gun that is?
I've heard it's like Dragon's Breath is the name of it or some shit.
Neo Punch, I disagree. I liked it better when it was in Constantine because I thought it was a much tighter edited with a lot better editing and different angles that really got in the middle of the action and closer to the
And
actor
you got a
and the
point
demon
about
shot
things
in
in John Wick
Constantine.
4 really feeling like a video game. Like there are so many shots in that film where it's almost like you're just like that scene in particular is straight out of a video game.
That I mean, I don't know. I thought it was over way overblown. Um, Home Video Junkies asking favorite movies of last year. I don't remember. I gotta
I
look
actually have
up
a list.
last year.
Let me bring up my letterbox. Do you guys get a sneak
I
peek? I
I
haven't
had a
finished it.
list.
I haven't finished the list yet. I'm one of those people that if I ever do like a best and worst list, I take forever because I have so many films that I want to watch or I'm curious about. And I also work 2 jobs, so I gotta try to balance all
Well,
that with everything.
it really is. Well, it looked real quickly. It looked ridiculous to me because of the CGI usage and during the scenes. Maybe if they had a more practical, like people on fire, and also I don't care. Again, for people to say me and Mike always agree on stuff. We could disagree and be friends. I don't like the top angle that looking like a video game. To me, it was too far away from the action, and I'm so far away that I feel more passive during
Mhm.
the whole scene. I felt like
Mhm.
I'm kind of just when I think of action scenes like in Hard Target, and you're really up and close, and
Yeah.
you see Van Damme going through the glass and blowing up
I mean, even
behind
like
them, and
the fight between Hawkins. Oh, is it Hawkins? No, it's a different guy. The fight between Christian Slater and John Travolta and Broken Arrow in the end, even something
yeah,
like
and the
that.
music,
Yeah.
I don't know. It just that's just me. But
I like that
go
scene, but in retrospect, I would have liked to have seen them switch it up a little bit. So you have like
mhm.
that top down stuff, but then you also have a few other shots that are a little bit more up close and personal. But when it comes to like my best of, I haven't really gotten the list completely in order yet because still need to kind of watch some more stuff. But I have Everything Everywhere All at Once on there. A film called Fresh from last year that I really enjoyed, really liked with Sebastian Stan, that I thought was just a really clever twist on a typical sort of romantic comedy. It becomes completely depraved and deranged and just insane with cannibalism and all other kinds of stuff. I thought it was a really amazingly well directed movie too. The Batman,
Oh,
like that
yeah,
one.
that was a longer one that I even said could be edited down a bit, but
Hmm.
I watched it again. I enjoyed the Batman. I
Yeah,
enjoyed. I enjoyed that movie.
I know you didn't mind Everything Everywhere All at Once as well.
Yeah, I like that movie. I have issues with the ending, but I like that movie.
I have Elvis on the list because I've seen that movie like 3 times. I just really like the film. I know it's got issues. It's not entirely accurate to the source material, which is the real life of Elvis, but it's a Baz Luhrmann film and it's a music biopic. All of these films do this kind of stuff where they take creative liberties. I look at it more as like an opera based upon the music of Elvis, not necessarily entirely everything that happened in his life.
And what would put like yes, if it was shot more like that, maybe I would have been more into it because I that would have been more of a personal
Mhm.
preference if that scene was. I mean, if it's going to video game anyway, then that would be more impressive and have it tried all in one shot,
Yeah.
one take. I said over the shoulder. I mean, if you want it to be a video game,
Yeah.
might as well go for that. But
Like
I
I
would
said, have
prefer
the
that
multiple
than
different types of shots. You have the top down view, but then you have like the over the shoulder or the first person thing. Just kind of mix it up
maybe
a little
that.
bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Um,
another film I like, Day Shift from 2022.
yeah, I have that on
Action
my
film I
list.
enjoyed.
I have that on my list. Elvis,
Like
Top
Day
Gun
Shift,
Maverick. That's another one. I like that more than Matt did. I actually saw that twice in the theater.
but I did not
Bullet.
hate Top Gun Maverick. I
No,
liked it okay.
yeah. Would
I liked it
you definitely
okay.
like it more than John Wick 4,
Yes,
right? Hmm.
yes, I like Top Gun Maverick more than John Wick 4. I can say that. Yes,
Bullet Train really surprised me.
yes,
It was the kind of
got that
over the
on
top
Blu-ray.
action that I really like because I like the story and I like the characters. I mean,
I thought Bullet Train was
even
a lot better than John Wick 4, in
yeah,
my
I agree
opinion. I think
too.
Bullet Train was better.
I mean, even Aaron Taylor Johnson was good in it.
Yeah,
The Adam
doesn't have to give
Project,
credit. I was
I saw
Craven the
that film
Hunter.
recently. The Adam Project that came out last year with Ryan Reynolds. I really enjoyed
Mm,
it. It was like a kind of a throwback film. Felt like a movie you might see in the 90s. Had a good heartfelt story. With a good plot, good characters. Ryan Reynolds was good. The effects were what they were, for a Netflix movie. But I still thought the action, what it was there, was fun and definitely
mm.
was shot well enough. And like I said, it had a really good heart to it. I actually cried at the end of that movie because I actually did. Because it's just think about this concept, Matt. Think about how you know that someone you love is going to die, and in
Mhm.
order to maintain the timeline or whatever, you can't tell them what happens to them, and you can't do anything to prevent them from dying. And that's definitely some you know interesting and kind of touching stuff, like when you think about it. um and it just
Feels like
depends on
so.
the
Sounds like
approach.
some. Sounds like something I've seen before though. I can't remember the
Hmm.
damn name of it though.
And there are some
How long is it?
similarities to some stuff that I've seen before, but I did like it. I thought it was pretty good. There was even like a scene where I really think you would like this scene because it kind of reminds you of the scene you were thinking that Explorers might have at the end, where it's just like
Mhm,
a dad and his son from two different timelines playing catch. That's like the last
mhm.
moments that they spend with one another is just playing catch.
So real quick, like let me get to these. Interesting. Are movies lacking the mid act two of the 3 act stretch? Or
Hmm.
well, I mean, movies not all, but a lot of times movies aren't really 3 acts. It seems
No.
at what a lot of times it seems just not random, but kind of scenes filmed and then
Hmm.
put together, and it just is what it is. I don't think there's a lot of movies. I'm not saying none. There's not a lot of movies that have that quote structure to it,
I think
maybe
they're
because they feel it's
lacking. I think I do agree with this. I think there are a fair amount of films that are lacking Act Two, because Act Two just feels like another extension of the third act. Um,
yeah.
or they're lacking a legitimate Act One They just start off with Act 2, and then Act 2 just kind of just becomes the same as Act 3. Like, they just kind of bleed together. Like, for example, with John Wick Chapter 4, like, Act 1 is just this lame scene in the desert that serves not much purpose other than, oh, I'm not going to get my ring back. Or John thought that if he shot the guy, that he would somehow get out of whatever situation he was in, which I find to be bullshit because you
Mm.
would think John Wick would know better. But yeah, it's an interesting statement, and I do agree with that in a fair amount of ways. Going back to my
Yeah, I
list, I
mean,
got Nope.
for yeah, I like Nope as well. I wanted to also mention,
Hmm.
you look at films back in the day, like Predator, you can see a three-act structure. There's the team, and going up to the first action scene.
Hmm.
Act two, the Predator picked off the team one by one.
Hmm.
Act three, Arnold by himself,
Yeah,
taking on. It seems either they don't want to, they feel it's too constrictive,
I think it's
or
cliched.
they feel that way.
Yeah, I think some people do feel that way. I think they feel it's cliched.
Mm. And real quick, like I got this. I don't want to disappear because I think
Okay.
YouTube makes these disappear. What makes a superhero? Is it because they have superpower and that makes them a superhero, or is it because of their personal? No, it's the superpowers. I mean, superhero. I mean,
Yeah.
comic book hero. Like the Punisher's a comic book hero, but he has those superpowers. But actual superhero, yes, that makes it.
Yeah, it's having
Uh,
powers, really.
yeah, that's what a superhero is, Bobby.
And it's
Because that's what
also
makes the
it
super
also
in.
is their personality, and it is also them, being selfless and wanting to save people. It is also that. It's not necessarily just powers. Because otherwise, if you're not using your powers to save anybody, you're just kind of sitting there on the sideline, then I
Or
wouldn't
you're
consider
super
you to be a
villain
superhero. Or
or
even a
super douche.
supervillain. Yeah, a super douche, exactly. That's what you would be.
You're super.
You wouldn't even be a supervillain. You'd just be a super douche. You got all these powers and you're
Yeah.
not doing anything.
So you'd be Hancock
Yeah.
until he became a superhero again.
Yeah,
He was a super douche.
exactly. Or Superman
And
to
no, I'm
Superman
not.
3. Like the ultimate Superman, the ultimate super douche when he gets exposed to the synthetic kryptonite.
And folks, though, I have not seen Stream Six. No one has requested it.
You're gonna
And
love that one, Matt. With
yeah,
Dermot Mulroney's
but
acting in the end of that movie. You
right.
think Scott
And you
Adkins was
mentioned,
bad? Scott Adkins was terrible in John Wick 4, but Dermot Mulroney, I think he was worse.
and Chase, I did not see the trailers for Sisu and Jesus Revolution,
I meant
so I
Scream
can't
6.
answer
I think
you.
I said the wrong movie. Um,
It's all right.
but yeah, I did see the trailer for Sisu actually before John Wick 4, and that looked way better. I want to see that movie. So yeah, I have Nope on my list. I like that one. I also have The Menu. I thought that was pretty good. Thought it was a great scathing satire of pretentiousness in general, including the type of film critics who expound upon the subtext in a movie and ignore all these other elements and just act like that's the most important thing when it comes to discussing a film. And I really think the writers of The Menu, they were like flipping them the bird with the ending of that movie. They were like, just people being
Mm.
it's just a silly, dumb scene of people being turned into s'mores, and this has nothing to do with society or fucking, social structures or any of that shit. We're mocking you for thinking that's what the point of the menu was.
Real quick, like no, Stream 7 is going Stream 7, Stream in the Hood, and then Stream 8 is Streaming in Space, and
Yeah.
Stream 9 is Streaming Back in Time.
At this point, you might
Go
as well call the
stream back
Scream
in
franchise, it's
time.
not Scream, it's Stream. Like a
Spleen.
stream of piss.
They can go suck a spleen.
I got The Whale on my list with Brendan Fraser. Um, Violent Night,
Didn't see it.
which I liked. Day
Yeah, I liked
Shift.
it. Love Day Shift. Wish I had
I
a
liked
Blu-ray.
Avatar 2. I know. I don't
That's
hate
cool.
the first Avatar either, so
That's cool.
um My Best Friend's Exorcism, I thought that was a fun movie with a nice little heart to it. Did laugh at a few of the jokes. The demon at the end looked really lame. Some bad
There you
CGI.
go.
But I liked the film. I didn't think it was as bad as people made it out to be. A lot of the reviews I saw that were super negative is fans of the book who like didn't like it because it wasn't exactly like the book. And I find that to be
Um,
annoying because it's a movie, it's not a novel. Do a lot of things with a novel that you can't with the movie. Ugh, sorry, my eyes are just killing me right now.
hey, Ricky Thomas. No,
Fucking
no problem.
allergies.
No, no problem.
I also have
Yeah.
Pearl because I saw that. I didn't like X, but I didn't mind Pearl. Have
It was cool.
Hatching, had some good creature effects. The Black Phone, like that one. I like Smile more than you
To
did, so I have that like down further on the list,
me, that movie sucked ass.
and that's cool.
That movie, I mean, nothing happens
Yeah,
for most of that movie except, have you seen The Ring?
I guess because I actually haven't seen The Ring yet, maybe that's why.
I thought nothing happened in Smile. It was boring as shit,
You'll at least
except
agree with me that the
people
the
people like,
the practical effects at the end were pretty cool. That was interesting.
yes, I wish it was a better movie. But I'm not scared by people going like this.
Yeah.
It's
Sorry, I
not
think I just got like
creepy.
an eyelash or something in
Yeah.
my eye.
It's just people going like this.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Get some Pepto Bismol and a Coke and Smile and shut the fuck up, Smiley. Go have you find a damn. Go to Beverly Hills and get your cheeks lifted.
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, had fun with that one, so that's I might move that one up. I want to watch that again actually. Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, the Nicolas Cage meta movie, had some fun with that.
Hmm.
Saw Choose or Die. That film got savaged by critics. And I thought it was kind of fun. Didn't really care for the third act. I definitely felt that that wasn't as effective as the other. Speaking of tapes, this guy gets killed by like VHS just basically being ejected out of his mouth and then like rewound and then fast forwarded out of him.
Did he put his dick on it?
No, he didn't do that.
No, Mr. Cool. That's in May. My birthday's at the end of May, so no, not yet.
Choose or Die was interesting though. It was kind of I like the concept of like a text adventure game that is like affecting reality and it can cause people to hurt themselves or cause death and mayhem, and it had its tongue firmly planted in its left cheek. It was like an R-rated Goosebumps or like Erie, Indiana, and I think a lot of people took it
Mm,
way too seriously, to be perfectly honest. And the creativity in that I appreciated a lot when it comes to a lot of these more mainstream
mm,
horror or just movies in general. I thought it was a really creative concept, and I I I don't think it all worked because I think it kind of fell apart a little bit near the end, but I had fun with it for like the first four. I was really liking it actually, for the first 40 minutes or so of the movie. It's only like an hour and 20 something minutes too. So it's not like it's that long.
Miguel, I don't give a shit about a new Street Fighter movie. Like I said, I don't look forward to anything. Fuck the new Street Fighter movie.
Well,
I
I mean,
saw
they
it. I
did a
saw
new Mortal
Line Ball.
Kombat movie, and that wasn't that great. So why would the Street Fighter movie be that great? I don't know.
Marvel's mentioned. You mentioned that before. I know on
Yeah,
a
yeah, I
post.
do. Yeah, I got the Star Trek Next Generation 4K set. I'm really looking forward to seeing First Contact. That's really the main one. Nemesis, maybe because I saw Nemesis in the theater. Um, Insurrection and Generations are still going to be lame, no matter what high quality transfer you're watching them on.
There's another thing we disagree on. Go ahead. I saw your post, so that's cool. Go ahead,
I
frame by
didn't mind
frame.
it. I didn't mind the
I
trailer. I'm not gonna
I
say
don't.
I flat out loved everything about it, but I thought it looked like it could be fun. I like the lead kid. I really don't mind that actor. I thought he's been doing a really good job in Cobra Kai as Miguel. And I've always been a fan of Blue Beetle, so I guess I'm just a little biased here when it comes to Blue Beetle. I think Blue Beetle's kind of a cool character, and I don't mind the suit design. Yeah, there's kind of Iron Spider vibes, but really Iron Spider ripped off Blue Beetle, so um I
I
think
I thought the trailer like dog shit.
that's
I
fine.
thought
That's fine.
the the action. I don't understand why he stands there with a thumb up his ass, look at a bus instead of just walking to the left or right.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, here's
Yeah.
huge. You don't boom,
I guess that
we'll cut the bus in half. Like just walk
yeah.
left,
Yeah.
walk right. It's like fuck it.
Like a fucking
This is
dance move. Dude, is he gonna do the
he just like
Macarena?
his or just jump left
Yeah.
or walk left by how much fucking time his wings took to go in
Just
front and then
walk hard, walk tall. Um
something
there were some things in the trailer I didn't like. I didn't like some of the humor, like the whole Batman is a fascist line that just stuck out like a sore thumb.
that did not make any sense why that
No.
line was in there to promote the
No.
movie.
No.
I don't get that one single bit.
Not at all.
That
That was
makes no
bad.
sense.
But yeah, I didn't
Oh, real
hate
quick,
it.
like
I thought it honestly, in terms of the tone, it kind of reminded me
thank you, man. Appreciate it.
of the tone of early Marvel movies that I actually liked. So I don't know. We'll see.
Again, that's cool. Again, we disagree.
Maybe it's
But
just a
we
bad
agree on
trailer. Could be
everything.
that too.
Or Kirby, I think he'll be shit. I think it'll be like the last 18, 8 Marvel films that were dog
Yeah.
shit.
What do you think about Across the
I mean,
Spider-Verse though?
I I don't I don't trust anything. I like the
Mhm.
first one. But for all I know, they'll fuck up and they'll Spider-Man 2099 will be a fucking villain or something. For all I know,
Yeah, I'd definitely rather watch that or Blue Beetle over the live action Moana because that was just announced by The Rock. Live action Moana. And there's even like fans of that movie who are like, "What is this? This film's only 7 years old. Now we're doing live action remakes of movies that aren't even a decade old already." And there's even people who are like, they are from
whatever.
they're Pacific Islanders, and even they're like, "Can we get something else? Can we get some other story from our history and our mythology adapted? Why does it have to be Moana again?" And I feel for them. I agree. Like they have so much other rich heritage and legends and myths. Like why can't you just do a sequel and just have like another story or something? Why does it have to
Just
be a
do a sequel
remake?
to just do a sequel to Captain Ron.
I'd see that.
You want to go out on the
Just be like,
water
there
and some islands.
there were no pirates of the Caribbean.
Caruso back with his eye patch on either eye.
Like, this isn't Disneyland, Captain Ron. There are no pirates of the Caribbean. Or the
The
whole
Rock
bit where
just
like there
needs
are
to.
no gorillas. There's no gorillas here.
The Rock just needs to retire for a while.
Yeah.
Take a break. At least 5 years. His movies are not doing well. Black Adam didn't do well. Jungle Cruise, did that
No.
really do that well?
No. It did okay, but nothing like amazing.
It wasn't that good of a movie, in my opinion. It was
No. I saw it. I saw
lame.
that in 4K, and yeah, it was pretty forgettable. And I like Emily Blunt. I really like her. I
Yeah,
loved her as Full
I like her.
Metal, the Full Metal character in Edge of
Edge of
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
I thought she was
Yeah,
phenomenal in that.
I agree.
She's good in A
I agree.
Quiet Place as well. So,
But the Jungle Cruise felt like kind of a lame version of the Mummy and other
yes.
movies.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, I did see Michael Keaton's review of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It was hilarious. I didn't see the movie though, but that movie just sounded garbage. You just watch the trailer that kind of tells you
Yeah,
how bad it is.
sure.
Winnie the Pooh. Uh, what was someone saying? Uh, Someone's asking Mike, "Have you seen the animated film Philaday?"
No. I think I've heard about it, but no, I haven't seen that one.
It's an interesting, pretty dark movie.
Mhm.
It deals with cats, and it's a very violent, dark,
Oh.
just weird
Kinda
movie.
like the Plague Dogs or Watership Down, but with
Kind of,
cats?
kind of that tone, but it's more like a murder mystery
Okay.
where these cats are dying and one's on the case, and you find out there's some experiments going on, and it's pretty violent, weird animated movie. Interesting.
I like stuff like that, so speaking of
Michael's asking,
interesting films, I saw a movie called Assassination Nation recently. It's from, I think, one of
mhm,
the guys who did Euphoria later. I can
mm.
see why people aren't a fan of this movie. These most of these characters are not likable. But that's technically the point. But I definitely understand why people can't get into the film because of just how shallow and vapid and unlikable a lot of these characters are. But it had some nice direction, some interesting editing with like split screens and other sort of stuff like that. And it's a very ballsy film. Like it goes for the
If it's
juggler
supposed to
when
be
it comes.
Euphoria, I'm skipping it.
Yeah,
The Euphoria was fucking
yeah. It's it
game gives
it's
you
got a lot of
STDs.
controversial sort of issues that it touches upon, but it skewers them from both sides. So it's not just a movie that is from one side of the political
Yeah,
spectrum. But yeah, it's definitely not a film for everybody. I definitely would not recommend it for everyone. Don't give a shit. I
I
don't
don't
care
know.
about Wes Anderson's Asteroid City. Like I don't really
I
care.
I don't know anything about it.
It's a new Wes Anderson movie, and I've tried to get into Wes Anderson. I've just never really been that big of a fan of him. Like it's just too quirky and just I don't know. The direction is interesting, and he's a good director when it comes to his visual style, but I guess I just never really got into his characters most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big Wes Anderson guy either, so I don't know anything about the movie. I did not see the trailer. I really have no interest.
What about
Um,
Extraction 2? Electric Boogaloo.
I don't care because such as badly John Wick 4 did. So, like I said, I'm serious. I do not look
Yeah.
forward to any movies coming out.
Uh-huh.
I'll watch them and then I'll see whether I like it or not.
I mean,
But I'm not looking forward to anything.
I'm even started to get jaded when it comes to like upcoming releases on Blu-ray and 4K because so many of them are just re-releases at this point. I mean, it's just getting fucking lazy. I love Creepshow. Everyone knows that I love that movie. It's one of my all-time favorite films. The Blob remake. But I wouldn't be like running for a 4K of the Blob, like especially if it's not a new transfer, just the same transfer but upgraded to 4K and there's no new features. I
Hmm.
don't really want to rush.
Are they doing that?
No. But that's what I'm saying. Like
Oh,
if they
okay.
were, like I don't know, I guess
Because
it's
they're
a
doing
must buy
Creepshow.
for me. They're doing Creepshow. Arrow's doing The Last Starfighter. And I'm like, I'm fine with my Blu-ray. The Blu-ray looks great. I don't
What's the thing
need
with
the.
the Creepshow bundles? Like they're up in the price for like pens and
Yeah,
other
yeah,
shit.
yeah. It's like pins and like cardboard. Like the pieces, like the note cards and shit. Like I'm not. I don't give a shit. I don't care. It's like when they used to. Remember back in the day when they had those box sets for like the Ninja Turtles films? Remember like that box set that had like, oh look, it's the 25th anniversary set and it's shaped like a pizza box and you get all the Turtles movies and you get like the bandanas and stickers and
Well,
all
they're
this other
still doing
shit.
it. That's
Yeah.
smell-o-vision or
Yeah.
stink-o-vision, whatever the hell it was.
Mhm.
So they're still doing it.
Yeah.
I don't care about that crap. I just want the movie. I want it to look good
Yeah.
and maybe some features. I
Yeah.
don't care about pins and model kits and shit that you'll never wear.
I know.
No one's gonna be going around wearing this shit. It's gonna look at it for 5 seconds, maybe 30 seconds. It's gonna put into a drawer and then it's gonna collect dust.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 years later, you find it, wipe the dust, look at it 5 more. You put it
Yeah.
on the desk again. You never see it again.
Like
It's a
there are people
waste.
yeah, there are people who are freaking out about the sticker for Creepshow. I'm like, it's a fucking. It looks like the kind of stickers you would get for like a quarter back in the '80s out of a machine. Why? But this is just like, oh my god, it's so cool. I have to have it. I'm like, you literally could get it for a quarter back in the day. Like what?
They're not going to do if when you get the sticker, what you put it on something, and then like
Just stick it on your
4 days
ass?
later, 4 days later, it's going to tear apart because it's going to be cheap, and
Yeah,
it's going to get rubbed up, and then half is going to peel off, and then wow, you spent all this money for a sticker that's not going to last that fucking long, and you're not going to look at that long, and maybe wow, you marvel for a day or two, and then you
yeah.
disappear, and wow, they took your fucking money.
Well,
They
even with
put all this
Creepshow,
stupid
it's
stuff.
like the
They
the
put all this stuff in
the
there to
best
make you think like you're
looking.
getting a big deal,
Yeah,
so it's up the price,
yeah. The best looking
but you're not.
slipcover is the one you have to pay extra for Creepshow. The other slipcovers look ugly to me. Like that, yeah, they finally used the theatrical poster, but they changed the color of the logo for some reason, and I don't like it. I don't like the look of the regular slipcover. I like the look of the hardcover slipcase for the Blu-ray better than what they have for this upcoming release. I mean, even Arrow, like the box set, the video store thing with the Dungeon Master and dolls and Cellar Dweller and Arena and Robot Jocks. Like,
Mhm.
there are films on there I would like to have because I don't have Robot Jocks on Blu ray and I have dolls, but like, I don't know if I want to buy that bulky box set. It'd take up a ton of space in my room and I already have not that much space left. And like I already have dolls. I have Robot Jocks on DVD. I have Cellar Dweller on DVD. I have Arena on DVD. It just almost feels like why didn't they just release some of those separately? Like why does it have to be this big box set?
So someone's asking you. I don't think you've seen these, but well, he mentions. I know you haven't seen them, but have you heard of these
Yeah, I've
movies?
heard of them because of
They're
Matt
kaiju.
and
They're
his
terrible.
reviews. I mean,
They're
it's not
terrible.
just these boutique labels that are doing it either. It's also other like major studios like Lionsgate with their upcoming 4K steelbook of Crank. It's the same flawed 4K transfer that has been around for years. Like the 4K of Crank was like an early 4K from like when they were first starting to make 4Ks. And it's not anything new. It's just a steelbook case.
Real quickly with this, says Bobby. Thank you for that. Let me put it this way: in one of the movies, the kaiju pisses on the city to take out the fire. And then this new one they have to be reviewing, which that review will be coming, Bobby, because I did see it. It is one of the worst kaiju films you would ever see. Because imagine, Godzilla like movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now imagine there's a monster here, but everything in front is this After Effects explosion,
Oh,
firework. So every scene you cannot see anything.
hey, no
It
thanks.
looks like it costs $1.27. So there's a monster every fight. It's like literally you can do better with what
Mm.
editing equipment you have. Just add in After Effects. As in front, here's fireworks, here's firecrackers, here's uh, orange fire,
Shit.
just like this while the monster's
Yeah.
roaring. Every fucking scene.
Yeah.
But
Matt, speaking of, you know, the kaiju pissing on the city, I wonder if Chad Stileski was a big fan of that movie, and that's why he had the dog pissing on the dude's head in John Wick 4.
why would you write that in?
I don't know. I feel like Bill Murray in Ghostbusters is like, I don't know.
And yeah, Black
I don't
Punisher, I
know.
know he didn't get his car back. He also didn't get his wedding ring back either.
No.
He
And
did
he didn't take on the
he
high
didn't get
table. Like there was even like a whole line,
that was the
I'm gonna kill
promise.
them all. And then that never
That
happens.
that was the promise at the end of the third film. He was going and then nope,
That's why I
didn't
don't get if
happen.
it's supposed to be a finale. That should have been it. He just takes on the high table. That's all the movie is. And this lame duel shit where he dies. And if he is gonna die, at least have him die like taking out the entire high table. No, we don't even get that.
I think it was his dad. It was a Fishburne or Winston. It was with one of
Mm-hmm.
them, or maybe the tracker guy. It was with one of them. I know.
Fuck the
Oh,
tracker
okay. What
guy.
was the
He's a
point of
poor.
what was the point of
He's
John?
a lame ass, lazy copy of Halle Berry's character in the third movie.
Uh, what was the point of John Wick 4 compared to John Wick 3, other than him
Beats
dying?
me. I mean, yeah. I guess the point is just to kill him. Really, that's what it
But like for
seems
a 3 hour
like.
movie, what was really the point of it compared to part 3?
It's got the same, like you were saying, it's the same kind of point. He's just trying to get out of a contract. He's trying to get out of another situation that he's put in. But this time around, it's not as fun to watch. It's not as creative. It's not as interesting. And you have all these different sequences and subplots with these other characters that you don't give a flying fuck about. And the script gives you no reason to. I don't know why I'm supposed to care about the two new characters that are introduced in Japan. That's why you should have Common. That's why you should
For the
have
spinoff.
That's why you should
It's for the spinoff.
establish more of a backstory or more depth to Winston or to Lawrence Fishburne's character. If you're trying to build a universe, instead of just throwing these two characters in the fourth movie and just giving them all of this screen time.
No problem, man.
So yeah,
Yeah, and yeah, that tracker guy was boring as hell. Boring as hell. That
lame.
tracker guy. I was laughing when that CGI dog was running
He's like
over
the
the two
dog shit that
cars.
somebody tracked into the house and it's just sitting there.
When it had that scene near the end where the guy took the CGI dog and slammed
Yeah.
into the
Yeah.
windshield, and the
Yeah.
dog bounced off it like a ping pong ball, and all the dog goes was,
Uh-huh.
what the fuck was that scene?
There's
Like
just
the
a lot of
dog
scenes
didn't
like
even
that when John Wick
move.
falls off that whatever 4 stories and hits the car. Like that was
Yeah,
one where I was like,
or
"Are
the
you
bit
fucking
in
kidding
the
me?"
club when
Yeah.
John Wick falls
Mhm.
and he hits his back,
Yeah.
and then I'm
Yeah.
like, he just broke his back.
Yeah.
It's like a wide shot, and it's like, yeah,
And here's the thing, like if
um,
I liked the plot more, if the villain was interesting or good, or there were these other elements that could kind of make up for the ludicrousness of some of this stuff, I could maybe give it a pass.
perhaps
But
yes, perhaps yes.
but I can't
It's
because I don't
adding
like that
on
other
to
stuff
it.
that much. Yeah,
And it's so much. It's like the Fast and Furious later sequels that got. I mean, yes, they're unrealistic. Like Fast Five is
I
fun.
love
It's a
Fast
safe
Five.
bet. But when you got the Fast and Furious Seven, you haven't seen F9, but I have. It just got too much, and you go, come on, multiple times, come on. Like I say, it wasn't a John Wick film. It was a parody. It was a
You
parody, in
you
my
just you
opinion.
just turn into Palmer in the thing. Like, you gotta be fucking kidding.
Yeah, that was me. Are you going to watch the new Power Ranger Netflix movie? I'm not. I never got into Power Rangers, so it's not for me.
I grew up with the original Power Rangers, but I don't know. The trailer didn't do that much for me. I'm just tired of nostalgia baiting, period. I'm if I want the nostalgia, I am just going to decide to watch Power Rangers on DVD if I want some Power Rangers nostalgia. I don't need to watch 50-year-old actors play Power Rangers again. Like, that it's kind of sad a little bit if you think about it. Really?
This question is for you, by the way, about the being sold.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And
You know what? That's a better option than WWE being bought and sold and owned by the Saudis. So, the end result could be a lot more catastrophic, or a lot less desirable. Endeavor makes sense because UFC already does a lot of pay-per-views and it's a fighting sort of thing, and there have been wrestlers who have done UFC, like Brock Lesnar and so on. I'm worried though that it's going to cause like pay-per-views to skyrocket, possibly in terms of like price. I wonder what it means for the network. Like, are they actually going to have these pay-per-views on the network anymore, or is it now no longer going to be on the network and you have to pay to see the pay-per-view, but then it'll be on the
well,
network later?
I think the bigger problem is Vince McMahon's back, and
Yes, I
no
was
matter
going to
what
talk
he
about
says,
that.
he's going to put more control in it. No matter what he
Yeah,
says,
yeah.
he's got more control.
This fucking Gomez Adams looking motherfucker right now.
Yeah,
This fucking
Snidely
mustache.
Whiplash.
Um,
He does that to twirl.
yeah,
Damn
I'm
fucking.
definitely worried about WWE. I was worried about it anyway, but I'm even more worried about it now because Vinnie Mac is back and seems like he already took over creative. I've heard the Raw after WrestleMania was a fucking shit show.
Real quick, like, uh, exactly. That's why John
Yes.
Wick failed. He forgot his bulletproof cup. Yeah, practice safe sex then. Yes, I will
Where's the
say it.
Blu-ray of
I
that?
enjoyed
Give me
this
a double
film.
feature of Deadly Outbreak and Street Night, please.
I enjoyed this film much more than John Wick 4. That is my opinion, and I'm sticking with it.
I would even agree with that.
He's shooting people in the nuts. Guess you forgot your bulletproof cup. And it's not 3 hours long.
And the villain is
It's a
a
quick
million times better. It's
moment
Ron fucking Silver. It's Ron
and time
Silver.
comes.
Yeah. It's not the Wick prick
Exactly.
himself.
And someone asked, yes, if I have to pick, I'd rather watch Rambo 5 than John Wick 4. I hate to say it. I
Uh
don't like the one. I don't like either one. But if you told me which I had to watch more, it would be Rambo 5 because it's shorter
yeah.
and Rambo didn't die at the end, at the very least. I
Well, I
still don't
mean,
like it.
you could definitely make the argument that he died at the end. I mean,
But there's
those
a
wounds were
question
pretty
mark.
fucking severe.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, considering how much Stallone wants to do a Rambo 6, which he shouldn't, I don't know. That's more of a question mark. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
I
like
don't
either
know.
one, so I don't know why I'm
I don't know
defending it. I
about
don't like
that.
either one,
Like,
but
I like
I'd
John
rather
Wick
watch
4 more
Rambo
than you
5.
did, so I would probably pick John Wick 4. Because Rambo 5 is just so boring and lame for the majority of the movie for me.
And to
But
me,
John
John
Wick
Wick 4
4,
was as well,
yeah. So
other
John
than
Wick
the
4
nunchuck scene.
does have some problems with that too. But going back to Vinnie Mac, in WWE, yeah, I heard that the Raw after Mania was a shit show. Like there were people who were diehard fans of wrestling who were like, that is one of the worst Raws after Mania they have seen in years. And I heard the rumor is that Vinnie Mac took over. He took over backstage, for the
Big
Raw after
surprise.
Mania. The one where Brock Lesnar like flips out and attacks Cody Rhodes and then flips off everybody by the end of the broadcast.
Mentioned. You find it.
Also, speaking of WWE, did you,
Yeah, that would
did
suck.
you hear about Shane McMahon? Did you hear how he had a moment in a pay-per-view like his dad where he was supposed to have a match with
Hmm.
the Miz.
Include Vengeance. Okay.
Hmm. He was supposed to have a match
That's
with the
weird.
Miz. And Shane McMahon came back, did his little entrance, got into the ring, did a couple moves, but then he tried to do something and then he like hurt himself badly enough that he had to be taken out of the ring and he wasn't able to wrestle anymore. Like he hurt his knee. So it's almost like Vince and his quads, that infamous fucking pay-per-view where he tries to get the match restarted or some shit, then gets into the ring and tears both his quads. Uh So Shane McMahon hurt his knee, and then Snoop Dogg of all people came in and like beat the crap out of the Miz and supposedly saved the match, but I don't know if that's saving the match considering it's not much of a match. I heard Roman Reigns retained. What a surprise!
Well, quickly, Blast Race, thank you. I actually liked that movie. I didn't
Mm.
mind Miles Morales. The animation style I thought worked for that movie. I don't think it needed to be used in every movie like the new Ninja Turtle movie.
Oh,
But I liked it for that movie.
speaking of the new
But
Ninja Turtle movie, really more speaking of Seth Rogen. Kind of tying back to what we talked about Super Mario Brothers earlier in the stream. I saw a link that somebody shared that Seth Rogen said that the 1993 Super Mario Brothers is like one of the worst films ever, one of the worst films he's ever seen. And I'm like, you made Santa Inc. Sit down and shut the fuck
yeah,
up, Seth. Like Super Mario Brothers is a flawed movie, but it is a million times better than Santa Inc.
yeah, I agree. Santa Inc. sucked, and I watched Super Mario Brothers 1993 any day over a lot of Seth Rogen stuff. Hey guys, hey guys, we're supposed to win with the Ninja Turtles. I haven't seen the new Mario Brothers movie. I like the old one, but I haven't seen the new one. Yeah,
The
Seth Rogen has no
1993
room to
film, it
talk.
has a good Blu-ray from Second Sight that has a nice looking transfer, fun documentary. It's not like crazy long. It's I guess like 40 something minutes, but it's got a fair amount of interviews in it. And
What? How is it
how is it
overrated?
overrated? We read each other's minds because I was like, what? How is that film
Well,
overrated?
let's be honest. Look at the guy's name.
Oh
Tony
yeah,
hacks the movies.
the Hack the Movies guy.
Hack.
Mhm.
There you go. That said it all. Hack.
That guy always sucked. He sucked in the rental reviews. Looking back at those
He
rental
was on.
reviews videos, those videos sucked. I'm not even gonna look back at them fondly. I'm like, most of those videos, they sucked. James barely says anything. All these other guys
That's why
do
they
most
don't
of the
do them anymore, right?
talking. Yeah.
Don't,
Well,
they
he's not even
stopped it,
working
right?
with
That's
them
why.
anymore. The screen wave guys or whatever. Like they're not even a part of the channel anymore.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah,
I was
people
looking
think
something
our
up real
videos are
quick.
too long. Hack the Movies, Tony will do like hour and a half, 2 hour long videos talking about like one movie. And they'll be like, oh, well, it's a podcast. I'm like, that's an excuse.
Yeah, I've never heard anyone say that movie was overrated.
I think it's underrated, at least a little bit, because the film is considered to be like one of the worst video game movies ever. When there are so many video game movies out there that are so much worse, it's so much harder to watch. And especially when it comes to like at the time, I mean, other than Mortal Kombat in the 90s, like what other video game movie was even nearly remotely as good as the Super Mario Brothers film? It wasn't Double Dragon. It wasn't Street Fighter.
I don't know, man. This guy,
Mm. Be like Grace
anyway.
Randolph, who gave the film a negative review because she felt that it was too much like the game and that the plot was too thin or it was controversial in some way, which I'm like, it's a Mario movie. How the hell is the plot controversial? And then she talked
Well,
a
I don't
lot
think she
about,
liked. I don't think she liked John Wick 4, and I agree with her on
yeah,
that.
I agree
So,
with her on that, but you know.
well, no, you don't. Did you like the movie?
Yeah, but I mean,
Okay,
yeah. I mean, I yeah,
you like
I
it
do
more
like
than me.
I do like it okay. So I don't fully agree with her.
But no,
But
I'm
she
not
said
big on Grace
something
Randolph
about,
ever since the Deadpool thing,
yeah,
where
that
she
was so
complained that
ridiculous.
Deadpool needs to be PG-13 so that kids can see it, which was such a ridiculous argument that made zero sense. And I will love. She didn't explain it properly either. She still
No,
didn't explain it properly.
I
So,
also remember her like responding to comments or tweets. I think there was one, I think it was a friend of mine. Replied to her, she responded, and then I actually got involved and she was trying to like start stuff with me and she was trying to talk about how like Robocop versus Deadpool, like the whole, because Robocop was R-rated, and she was talking about how, oh well, that got became PG-13, and I'm like, well, the first movie had like drug use and swearing and ultra violence and everything. She was just completely fucking clueless about like, and I was trying to tell her
wait,
about the drug use and nudity and a guy snorting cocaine off of some woman's tits, and she was just trying to be like completely oblivious about it. It was funny.
yeah, might as well talk to a brick wall. You would have gotten a better response.
See, she's, I guess, one of the more popular YouTubers. Being popular on this platform as a film critic isn't necessarily a slam dunk or always like the best thing. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're a better critic than other people either that have less views. At least
Hmm.
not to me anyway.
I mean, not to me either, but that's, oh
Is
well.
what it is. I mean, we're at the
We will
point where
never
there
be
are
that.
people who will tell their own mother that she's not a real YouTuber because she doesn't have a million subs.
Who's that?
Some guy who's like, I was, there was a coworker, she was watching this video and it was like the son was talking about how he doesn't believe that his mom's a real YouTuber, even though I think she has like hundreds of thousands of subs, but she's not a real YouTuber because she doesn't have a million. I guess we're not real YouTubers, man. We're fake. Just like you're a fake John Wick fan. Like that comment. You're a fake John Wick fan because you don't love John
I
Wick
didn't
4.
read the comments, so I haven't read the comments yet. So, oh well.
I don't know how that works.
O-
If you don't
Obviously
like,
not. If if I have reviews of the John Wick films on my channel from years ago, then
Yeah,
obviously I am a fan. But
I know. I don't
it's they're
understand
still
that.
there.
I don't get that mindset. It's like when you did the review of Rambo 5, or you were doing all these reviews of these Stallone movies like Escape Plan 2 and 3 and Backtrace, and you weren't praising them, and you had Stallone fans be like, "How can you call yourself a Stallone fan if you don't like these movies?" And I'm like,
Because they're not good, in my opinion. Yeah, I did a commentary for John Wick 2014 2 months ago.
"Mm-hmm,
I have a thumbnail of John Wick 2014 with a thumbs up
yeah,
from 5 years ago.
yeah,
John Wick 3 movie review, to me, the best film of the year. John
yeah,
Wick Chapter 2, literally another review with a thumbs up from 5 years ago. And you can't say I took a different picture because the thumbnail is from where I was in Iowa.
mm-hmm, yeah,
Unless I went back to Iowa for one day to film these thumbnails. 5 years ago, John Wick 2 and John Wick 1, thumbs up. John Wick 3, 3 years ago. I must have made all
yeah."
those up somehow.
It's just
Yeah, I agree.
ridiculous.
I
It's just
agree, Blast
ridiculous.
Radius, 100%.
It's like if somebody was like, "Hey, OCP, you're not a real RoboCop fan because you're fake. You're a fake RoboCop fan because you don't like RoboCop 3 and the remake." And I'm like, if that means that I'm a fake fan, then I don't know what to say because to me, being a fan of something means that you care enough about it that you don't
Exactly.
lower your standards.
That's why I don't really do videos on stuff on trolls. I don't really care at this point because you wanna know why? I'm talking with a friend of mine who's a dear friend.
Thank you.
There's a couple people in here. At one point, it seems over 70 people. It's not 1,000. It's not a
No,
100, but it's still pretty decent. And I'm doing okay, so I'm not going to get mad. Ooh,
just be
whoopee.
like to
Not
quote
going to lie.
Rambo 3. Fuck them.
I said I'm not going to. I'm not going to lie.
No,
Otherwise,
be
what's the point?
honest. Like, what is the point of being a YouTuber, especially someone who talks about movies, if you're not being honest when it comes to your opinions on them? There's literally no point to doing it otherwise.
So meltdown too. Apparently not. I'm sure there's some people. But I'll wrap this up in a bit. I mentioned this the night before. I only had like 2.8 gigabytes on the phone.
Mhm.
It does renew in about 2 days, so we'll be on for like another maybe couple minutes.
Yeah.
But want to just thank Mike for being on with me for this
Thank
bit.
you.
Thank you. If anyone has any last questions or comments, feel free. Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes it feels that way. Maybe not all the time. Oh, thank you. Hope you're doing well. Like I said, I mean, I didn't even read the comments yet. So when Mike said, I'm like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
So I didn't. I just been busy, so I haven't read the
I'm
comments.
pretty
So I'm like,
much I'm
whatever.
preparing myself, for some random people just because I like the movie okay, because that happens too, where you don't even hate the movie, you're just like, I thought it was all right, kind of mediocre, kind of there, time waster,
Mhm.
because you didn't say it was the greatest action film ever of all time. People are gonna act like Kanye West at the fucking award ceremony, make a
Kamen
big giant
Rider,
stink about
uh,
it.
Kamen Rider, Grace Randolph was the person Mike mentioned with the Mario
Mhm.
Brothers stuff. Thank you, Manny Gatilla. I appreciate it. Thank
Yeah,
you
she was
all.
mad about Mario turning into a cat or something and having all these powers, but then like fans of the games like dunked on her because it's like that was a part of a power that he had in one of the games. And like I haven't even played
Yeah,
all the games, and I would just assume that that would just be something related to the game, and it wouldn't bother me. I'd be like, so
like the
it's a
game. There you
yeah,
go.
exactly. I'd just be like, okay, fine. That'd be like hating on Sonic because he ru- he runs really fast, or he does, the Sonic blur thing, or when he becomes Golden Sonic at the end of the second movie, be like, "What is this? This is stupid. Like, this doesn't make any sense."
Okay.
It's like, it's in the game.
Nah, I doubt he could turn to a raccoon because take off the first three letters. And then do you want people calling him that? Exactly.
Uh,
So he
yeah,
probably won't turn to that because they don't be too you know how people are.
be too much like the South
How they-
Park, Cartman superhero
yeah, I remember
character.
that. Neopen's asking, did you like Sonic 2?
I should put that in my honorable mentions. Yeah, I liked it enough. I should put it in there. I like the first Sonic more, but it was still fun.
Chase is asking, if you had a choice, would you go to Russia or India?
Fuck.
Well, probably India because there's a war
Yeah, I'd
going
rather
on.
go to India. Fuck Russia, and worried I'll get
I'll go Russia
gangbanged by
one day.
Seagal and Putin at the same time.
Yeah, Seagal's in Russia, so that alone would make me want to go to India instead. Because I don't want to be where Steven Seagal is. So yeah, I won't go to Russia just because Steven Seagal's there. Steven Seagal's not in India, so I'll go to India.
Fade to run into Seagal in a dark alley. And then I heard you'd been talking shit about my movies.
I mean, yeah, because they've been sucking. Maybe you should get better. Um, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. You want to tell people what you got coming up next, if
I
anything?
got a new review of the Joel Schumacher classic Falling Down. I'm actually going to try to record that probably a little bit after this stream. Um, I got a video where I'm going to share my thoughts on a couple Waliki Wood movies. I don't know if you heard of Waliki Wood. It's I think it's these series of very low budget movies that these people decided to make that were, I think they were part of, I think they were in like a third world country somewhere in Africa, and they decided to just make these movies for fun, and they
Hmm.
went viral
Okay.
because of just how like over the top and so bad it's good they are. But I'm just gonna do a video where I just talk about the two of them because they were actually requests, but I'm gonna combine them into one video because of the context when it comes to the creation of these films. I am not gonna be talking about them or approaching them in like the same way I do any other sort of movie, because
Okay.
that they are made by these people over in this part of the country, part of their country that's not doing that well, and they decided to just make some movies for fun, and I don't want to really shit on that. I think that's actually kind of cool, and I think that's pretty awesome that they found a way to do it, considering they didn't have much to work with, or when it comes to resources and stuff like that, or finances. um and I got some fantasy reviews, a bunch of fantasy film stuff like the Lord of the Rings trilogy, The Last Unicorn. I do want to There's a few other 22 films I want to watch within the next few days, so I can get the best and worst lists finalized, so I can do those videos. Got a ranting commentary on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, which I will be recording on Saturday and probably posting within the next, few days afterwards. It's another one of those things like Batman and Robin. I watched that probably the most as a kid, or as much as, the other two Turtles movies. But, as
Mhm.
an adult, like, man, that is just cringe. Help, I'm a turtle and I can't get up. What are you expecting? The Addams family? Like,
Hmm.
no. No, I wasn't.
Someone asked, "Are you a Lord of the Rings fan?" Since you
Yeah, I
mentioned
do like the
fantasy.
first three. The Lord of the Rings trilogy. I haven't seen it. Honestly, I haven't seen either one in years. So I'm honestly kind of looking forward to revisiting those in 4K. As well as a bunch
Hmm.
of other fantasy stuff like Legend and Conan, and I'm also going to be I'm going to try to do some Dario Argento films as well because it's April and I like Argento and I haven't done any videos on Argento. So,
Hmm.
that's kind of what I got, in mind is, the normal sort of vlogs and stuff like that. Got a couple rant video ideas, one about the death of the modern horror icon, because I definitely feel that the modern horror icon as we know it is pretty much dead and buried for a multitude of different factors. Um, and a rant on a genre called anti-comedy, which I think is a genre that for the most part has the worst success ratio out of anything because by default it's a genre that is doomed to fail because that's the whole
Hmm.
point. It's supposed to be bad. And when you get into that scenario, you get into like asylum level shit. When people are trying that hard to be bad, and in this instance, that hard to not be funny, then it's incredibly difficult to be clever and creative with it and very easy to be lazy. Yeah, the anti-comedy genre is like, shit like Tim and Eric, the sketch show, some of the stuff on the I forgot what the hell the Eric Andre show, a lot of the old Adult Swim stuff. A lot of that is kind of what is considered like anti-comedy. And there's
Hmm.
other anti-comics who do like stand up and stuff where the joke is just so bad or there's no punchline. And a lot of it, people laugh because it's a natural reaction for some people to laugh when they're faced with an awkward situation. So when they're seeing something awkward and weird, they laugh. But
Hmm.
I guess I've been wired differently because when I see a lot of stuff like that, I don't laugh. I'm just like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? Like, I, I just want to change
But
the channel.
okay, so
So,
those will be coming soon.
yeah,
That's cool. I look forward to those.
cool.
For me, uh, more requests would be done.
Mhm.
Reservation Road, which
I've
is a
heard
film I've never
about
heard of
that one.
before. Yeah. Episode of Game of Thrones,
Did Cinema Snob
commentary
review
on.
that? Reservation Road?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Episode of Game of Thrones, commentary on the 2008 Royal Rumble match, some more Resident Evil 4 playthrough, uh,
The
episode Curb Your
2008 Royal
Enthusiasm.
Rumble, which one was that? Like, wasn't that around the time that
Cena won at the
oh,
end.
that is that the one where he
It
came
came back
back from his injury?
at number 30.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that I have
and
some
face over
nostalgia
Triple
about
H.
that because that was during the time when I was a Cena mark. I have to just admit it. I was, and that was a pretty cool moment for me. But I can understand why you'd be like, why? I don't give a shit. Cena's back. Who cares?
Yeah, it was fun to watch. That content will be uploaded sometime within
Hmm.
the week, but when I got to the end with Triple H and Cena, I'm like, oh great. Well, this is my
It was like
least
two
favorite
of your
part.
least favorite wrestlers. It's like the Alien versus
Yeah,
Predator tagline: "Whoever wins, we lose."
yeah. I mean, it was fun to see like a young CM Punk in
Hmm.
there. Dave Bautista was in there, a lot of others, but I'm not. I enjoyed it. Just when it got to the last two, I'm like, oh, yeah. Undertaker and Shawn Michaels started, which was nice.
Yeah.
Uh, and then other requests begin to episode Supernatural,
Okay.
the 2002 film May, Deep Red,
Oh.
which is a fun one.
Oh, May. That has a
Yeah,
bit of a cult following.
yeah. See, Dragon Slayer.
Okay. This came out in
Hex.
4K. Dragon Slayer.
Did you ever hear of Hex?
Jonah Hex?
It's about a cursed skydiving team.
Oh, now, yeah, now it rings a bell. Cinema Snob did a little thing about it. He
Yeah.
talked about it. I think he did like a worst of the year video, and I think it was like
Yeah.
near the bottom of his list. He
It
mentioned
deserves
Hex.
it. A cursed skydiving team.
He was like, "This is like a script from like the '90s that they found like in an old filing cabinet,
Yeah.
like Drop Zone, but with a curse."
Someone's asking Mike, do you have thoughts on Finn Balor? What like?
Here's the thing about Finn Balor. I had a brief period where I got back into WWE. I think it was around the same time that Sting made his return because I'm a huge Sting mark. And Finn Balor was, I think he was making his debut in WWE around the same time, like at least in the on the main roster, because he was, on NXT and stuff like that. And I was like, I didn't mind his look. I thought it wasn't really the best when it comes to promos. I didn't ever cared for his finisher. He just like does a little love tap with
Yeah.
his feet. Like, have you seen his finisher, Finn Balor? Just
No.
jumps up and hits you with his feet in the chest, and I don't know. It just doesn't. I didn't ever thought it looked that cool or like a devastating
Mhm.
move. It'd be like if the people's elbow was like a finisher. And then sometimes it has been for The Rock, but I always felt that was kind of
Yeah.
lame whenever that would happen, when The Rock would just give somebody the people's elbow and then get a pin. So it's kind of a similar thing with a coup de grace. I think that's what it was called. Um, but I definitely feel for Finn. I feel for him immensely because after Seth Rollins injured Sting with the just unbelievably dangerous move, the buckle bomb, like I don't know why he kept doing that afterwards. And I don't know why he felt like that was a safe move. Like I'm gonna get a wrestler on my shoulders while they're like curled up, and then I'm gonna toss them into the ropes. Like,
Mhm.
why did he think that that wasn't ultimately going to lead to some kind of injury? And it wasn't, or just toss them into the barricade. And that's what happened with Finn. I was on Raw. He just won the title too. That's why I feel so much for Finn. He was over at this time. It was on Raw. Seth Rollins picks him up, throws him into a barricade. He hurts himself, and it never was the same ever again in terms of his push. And
Mhm.
like everything was just completely just up in smoke at that point for Finn. And he's just been constantly trying to like climb back up and try to get to that point while dealing with more nagging injuries and other shit that just keeps him missing time. So yeah, I feel for Finn. I do. Because I think that yeah, Sting, it was pretty bad. I would say it started great. The Survivor Series return, I thought that was a really good start to everything. But they dropped the ball, and then you have the WrestleMania match with him and Triple H, which I fucking hate. Saw that shit live. I was like, "What?" I was like the NWO comes out to Sting's aid, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this? Why the hell?
'Cause,
Why would Sting be like, yeah, come on, NWO, the guys have been fighting my entire time at
well, I
WCW."
mean, it'd be like the Bloods helping the Crips.
Yeah.
Just that's probably work.
It wasn't even the Wolf Pack. Like, if it was the Wolf Pack, it would make more sense because he was technically a part of the NWO Wolf Pack,
They
the
don't know what a
red.
wolf pack is in
Yeah.
WWE. They don't know what
And
that
then, of
is.
course, Triple H
Of
going over. It was just another
course.
fuck you to WCW. That's what that was.
Yep.
And then
Just
Sting
like
did
went
his
over Booker T.
whole bit that almost seemed like he was trying to do the Joker thing again from from his run on TNA, which is kind of weird. And then you have that match at Clash of the Champions, and then he gets hurt, and that was it.
Mhm.
They should have had the
Go
bone.
figure.
They should have like the Boneyard match, the one with the Undertaker. That's like a cinematic match. That should have been the Undertaker versus Sting. And I think even Sting mentioned that as an idea, or somebody did, and Vince or whoever else in creative's like, oh, nobody wants to see that. Like, no, that's gonna suck. And so then
So
Sting
Sting would lose
did,
again.
yeah, probably would have. So Sting went to AEW and had a cool cinematic match over there.
But with that said, I'll head it off here. Thank you guys out there. Thank you, Mike, for joining me.
Yep.
And we will see you down the road on another day.
See ya.
Later.